I'm calling about this property. And he goes, I'm sorry, young lady, we have a lease out. I said, is it signed? He says, no, but someone has it. I said, well, my grandmama told me that a deal is not a deal until the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. He said, I like you. He said, can you come in tomorrow? I said, I am totally booked, Mr. Reach, for tomorrow. However, I can come in today. And the rest, as they say, is history.
Wow.
I went in, signed the lease, and in 2005, Melba was born.
This episode of Staying Hungry is brought to you by Vincent's Clam Bar, the maker of Vincent's Sauce, a Long Island institution for over 40 years.
Varieties include vodka sauce, tomato sauce in mild, medium, and hot, and marinara. These bold flavors can be purchased at the restaurant or at local retailers, including Walmart.
Restaurant quality, straight from the jar.
Welcome to Staying Hungry. Today's guest is Melba Wilson from Melba's in Harlem. Melba, thank you for coming.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm super excited.
Thank you.
I came over the bridge and through the tunnel.
And we appreciate that.
Yeah. Long Island.
We tried for a couple months to do this, so we're thrilled that we were able to coordinate. And thank you to Ryan for helping us.
Thank you.
Where do we start? Restaurateur?
Yes.
Mother?
Yes.
Author?
Yes.
What else?
Actress?
Actress.
Sometimes only when I have to.
There you go.
And obviously have been on the Food Network,
yes,
amongst many other different channels, and have made a lifetime of hospitality. Is that fair to say?
That's definitely fair to say.
Okay.
As well as being the first female to be president of the New York City Hospitality Alliance.
Yes, and that's for those that don't know, which many just starting to listen to this. We met through the Hospitality Alliance. You won Best of the Boroughs. We had sponsored and represented Harlem.
Yes,
and we were lucky enough to meet you and building some friendship along the way. So we thank you for that. But today is you telling us about your story in hospitality. And I said this to Vin this morning. You were actually an entrepreneur before a restaurateur, right?
I was.
Yeah,
I was.
And we'll dig into that. But how did the love of food and hospitality come about? I know because I did some homework, but tell us.
Well, my love of food really dates back to me being a small child. My family was born and raised in South Carolina. However, I was born, bred, and buttered in Harlem.
Okay.
My parents migrated up north in search of a better job, during the Harlem Renaissance, in search of a better job. And they sent money back home to South Carolina. So growing up with a mom, dad, 2 siblings, our Disney World wasn't the Disney World in Florida. It was actually getting in the car and taking that 11 to 12 hour drive back to South Carolina. So as soon as we, school let out June 26th, June 24th, whatever the date was that particular year, we would hop in the car and take the ride back to South Carolina. For me,
where much of the family was and is.
And my grandmother, my grandparents, cousins, aunts, and uncles. Yes, that's where my parents were originally from. And so for my brother and sister, it was about going to see our cousins, running in the dirt, playing in the grass.
What kids should do.
Kids should do. For me, it was putting on an apron at 9 years old and going into my grandparents' gardens, where we would pick greens, beans, tomatoes, potatoes, you name it. But ultimately, where we would take food from the ground before the phrase farm to table was even coined.
Okay.
Go in the kitchen, snap peas, help my grandmother cut up collard greens, canned tomatoes, but more importantly, create magic.
Was she the original influence in your food desires?
My grandmother was a strong influence in terms of me cooking, because that's how we showed our love. It was at that table that we talked about legacy, that we talked about heartbreak, that we celebrated the birth of a newborn baby or someone transitioning in life. See, everything that was important happened at the dinner table.
Right. And you, is this accurate? You have like 100 cousins.
I have more than 100
More
cousins.
than 100 cousins.
Because I have a dad who is my stepfather. I have a father who's my biological father.
Okay.
And then I have my mom, who obviously is my mom. Sure. So I have cousins that you may want to say we're not blood related, but my stepfather raised me from the time I was 2. So I often refer to him as my dad because those are cousins and family members that I grew up with, not knowing that they weren't my biological cousins.
Got it.
But
so that's what summer was, spending so much time with that much family.
With family and friends, and also cooking. You know, cooking for us was bragging rights. That was our Oscar. It was our Emmy. You know, it was our Academy Award, because even though we didn't have a lot of money, what we did have is we had food. So if you made the best potato salad, everybody would talk about it. Or if your macaroni and cheese was too runny, you better believe you would get dogged for that too. So that was our moment to shine. But again, it was also how we showed our love.
And taking a quote from the cookbook, that you were rich because you had family and food, which I think is just unbelievable to hear. And I think if people kind of thought about their own life in that way, it would be just a bit different.
Well, food is the common denominator. Food is the common denominator. It's the equalizer. You know, my fried chicken at Melba's doesn't care how much money you make, what you do or don't have in your bank account, what your religion is, who you date. It doesn't care what your ethnicity is. It doesn't care what your religion is. The only thing that it requires is that you sit at that table, and guess what? You don't even have to have a knife or fork, but that you just sit down and enjoy. And that's the beauty about food. It's a wonderful way to explain, describe our culture, but it's also a wonderful way to bond and to come together.
Yeah, even reading, parts of your book, it forces you to reconnect with your childhood. And it made me think of going to my grandmother's, my Italian grandmother, and it's all about the food and the experience. So it I think that's the connection piece. It's like you said, it doesn't matter where you're from, how much money you make, but you all have that common memory, right? And it all usually ties around sitting at the table and eating.
That's so true, Vinny. If I'm thinking about my sweet potato pie, it automatically transports me back to your point of sitting at Grandma Mia's table, where she's talking about church or religion or my grandfather or my great-grandmother. So you're 100% right. Food does transport us and takes us back to wonderful, warm times in our lives. Yeah. And that's what we do at Melba.
You can smell it too, usually.
My son knew, we were having a podcast. He knew that you were coming today, and he's like, Dad, can I come with you today? Because in case she brings chicken and waffles, I
started to bring you guys something. Oh my God. I'm so excited with myself now.
We'll come to the city, but
darn, I really started to bring something.
He's like a whippersnapper, because he's like, but at least when she brings it, it'll be warm. I could have it then. So I said, don't worry. If she does bring it, I'll bring it home. We can warm it up.
Oh, just make me feel bad. Why don't you?
But
yeah, instead of the dog eating my homework, my dog worker got back really late from walking the dog. I didn't have a chance to get to the
good. He did crack me up by that, but and quoting Bobby Flay said, your chicken and waffles is the queen bee.
Break 1-9. I agree with Bobby on that.
Which is a tremendous accolade. And so as a young child, did you know that food was going to be your ultimate career?
Absolutely, positively not. I had no clue.
No clue.
You could not tell me that this is what I would be doing for the rest of my life, that I would find so much joy in it. No, I didn't know. I thought I was going to be an air traffic controller. I really did. I thought I'm a huge math major, love math, wow. And that's what I thought I was going to do with my life. It wasn't until I was working at General Adjustment Bureau, proofreading actuarial laws Yes, I did say actuarial laws, AKA watching paint dry. uh, and throwing parties on the side for Vesta Williams, for Earth, Wind & Fire, for Janet Jackson. And my aunt said to me, why don't you come and help me out at Sylvia's?
Okay.
And I said, okay. Went in the restaurant.
Which is also in Harlem.
Yeah. Sylvia's will be celebrating its 64th anniversary. Wow. World renowned. It's where Princess Di, Nelson Mandela, Bill Clinton, everyone who's anyone has eaten at Sylvia's. Yeah. And went and helped my aunt out and fell in love. I got bitten by the bug, and I'm still hungry. Yeah, but that's where, yeah, totally. But that's where my love, that coupled with growing up and seeing my grandmother create magic at the table. I mean, imagine going in the garden and taking something and then it turning out to be a whole family style feast made with love and magic. That's the kind of magician I want it to be.
And it's gotta, I think it's interesting, like you said earlier, is being able to, for family and friends, and to kind of like your Grammy moment of like seeing someone enjoy it, to then take it to strangers and people that are new every single week in and week out, and being able to kind of deliver that. It's got to be almost like a high, almost, I would think.
It is totally a high, and it's a high that 21 years later, I'm still on, Vinny. I truly am. And in Harlem, 114th Street and 8th Avenue, a.k.a. Frederick Douglass Boulevard, was one of the most notorious drug blocks in Harlem. What bothered me was that there was a school in the middle of the block, Wadley, and kids on their way to school had to witness drug activity, people using, people selling.
Probably violence.
And then they had to go in school and learn. Wow. And I would complain about it. One day I'm on a flight and the flight attendant says, as they always do, in case of an emergency, put on your mask first. And it was an aha moment for me. I said, I'm complaining about the problem, but what am I doing to contribute to the solution? And the answer was nothing. So my mother used to save money under her mattress. My grandmother used to save money under her mattress. Big Mama used to save money under her mattress. So what did I do? I saved money under my mattress. This particular day, I went home and I started counting and counting. And 2 weeks later, a little bit over 2 weeks later, I had amassed a nice nest egg. And the last day that I was counting, I'm walking down the street, 114th and 8th, and there was a sign that said, for rent, call. Wow. I called. It was Limley and Wolf. They own the building. A gentleman by the name of Robert Reach, who's still alive, is who I spoke to. And I said, I'm calling about this property at 2107 Frederick Douglass Boulevard. And he goes, I'm sorry, young lady, we have a lease out. I said, a lease out? Is it signed? He says, no, but someone has it. I said, well, my grandmama told me that a deal's not a deal until the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. He said, I like you. He said, can you come in tomorrow? I said, I am totally booked, Mr. Reach, for tomorrow. However, I can come in today. And the rest, as they say, is history.
Wow.
I went in, signed the lease, and in 2005, Melba was born.
So that was it in calendar 2004 that you actually signed the lease, renovations, and got started in 2005.
Yes.
Wow. 21
exactly.
years. Congratulations.
21 years. And back then, from 110th to 119th Street, there was only a Chinese to-go spot, and there were no other sit-down restaurants. And so now that neighborhood has transformed. Yellow cabs now come up. When I first opened, yellow cabs wouldn't even come up to Harlem. And it's considered the Harlem version of Restaurant Row. So on 8th Avenue, Frederick Douglass Boulevard, you will see Ethiopian restaurants. You'll see Italian restaurants, Mexican restaurants. You'll see a plethora.
A melting pot.
Yeah. So we've created our own little Restaurant Row up in Harlem now.
And how far are you from your aunt's place, Sylvia's?
My aunt is on 126.
Okay.
And Lenox Avenue. So I'm about 5 minutes,
Got it.
5-minute drive.
And obviously you both coexist for over 20 years for yourself and 60 for her.
Over 60 years for her.
How is that I guess, transition? Because I've seen family members that wish their family well with new ventures, and then there's other ones that get a little territorial. I mean, how is that when sharing? Were they very positive, or was there a little?
Well, Sylvia's will always be the queen
Well,
bee.
yeah.
You know, there wouldn't be a Melba's if there weren't a Sylvia's. So my aunt really navigated me through this world. She had the blueprint. You know, she started out as a waitress at the restaurant when it was called Johnson's, and it had 12 seats at the counter, and walked in to get a job and was trying to figure out how to get the coffee out of the urn, and worked for Mr. Johnson for years until one day he said to her, I want to sell the place and I would like for you to buy it. Her mother took out a loan against some land she had in Hemingway, South Carolina, and my aunt owns everything on the block except for the corner, except for the church on the north side of the corner. So working for her was like getting my PhD in the industry.
Yeah.
You know, starting in the kitchen, working front of the house, back of the house, learning about catering. But most importantly, what she taught me was how not to give up in the midst of a storm, how not to give up. She taught me so much about being hospitable and about the person that comes in every day to get that cup of coffee. That's the king and queen, because those are the ones that keep your business going. Mm-hmm. We're grateful for everybody. Mm-hmm. But that person that shows up on a regular basis, that's the customer. It's about loyalty.
Love it.
I think one of the guests we had on, he goes, something so simple. He's like, just remembering people's names, like, is such a huge, like, such a little thing. But like when you're behind the counter and you say, hey, Joe, hey, Mike, how you doing?
Yes.
It makes them feel like important.
Well, people matter. And when people come into restaurants, it's not just for the food. It's for the experience. You know, it's for when Champ, who works with us, who's in his 80s, who worked at the Flash Inn for 42 years, and he's been with Melba's probably about 15, 16 years now. Wow. The fact that Champ knows the parents' kids, and now the parents' grandkids.
Right. 3 generations.
3 generations. And he remembers their names. And we're huggers, so it's nothing for us to hug a guest, because at that point, you're part of our extended family. We have people that come in literally 2 and 3 times a week. And if it weren't for them, we wouldn't be able to keep the lights on. But we also don't advertise at Melba's. So the fact that anybody walks in the door, I'm excited. How did you hear about us? How do you know about us? And we have people that literally come from all around the world. So we're grateful.
You take pictures with them?
All the time.
Oh, that's cool.
All the time, of course. But we're also grateful that they chose Melba's. There are over 26,000 restaurants in the city, as you guys both know.
Yeah.
So the fact that anyone walked in the door and we don't advertise, we give our advertising budget back to the community. Wow. And we've been doing that for 21 years. So the fact that anybody comes in, I'm always elated.
Amazing. Very nice. And Melba, today there's 4 locations, some in the works.
It's 4 already open.
Yep.
There's Melba's in Harlem, which is 21 years old now. We're legal. We can drink. Okay.
Sorry.
There's Melba's in Central Park, right over Woolman Drink, we've just celebrated 5 years in November there. There's Melba's in Grand Central, we just celebrated 1 year in February. And then there's Melba's in the Prudential Center in Newark, which opened 3 years ago. And another one opening in September.
Very nice.
In Newark. So we're over the moon about it.
You're not busy.
Not at all. Oh, and then there's a catering business that's 21 years old, where we cater from anything from 20 guests to our largest client is 14,000.
And that's out of Harlem location primarily, or?
Good question, Michael.
Not the big one.
That right. So the Harlem location has 2 ovens, so no. But before I opened this other place, so 2019, the space I've always wanted on the corner of Lenox and 118th Street. Space becomes available. The owners call me. I like corner spaces. It's a corner space next to 3 banks. Yes, always love the space. Go in, renovate the space. The due date for opening is March 15th. You already knew it, Vinny. You already knew what was coming. March 15, 2020.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
I should have played the
ends.
lotto. I really should have played the lotto. Restaurants totally built out, ready to go. The only thing that wasn't up was the awning. And the awning guy was set to come March 15, 2020. We were going to open March 20th.
Wow.
So what we did was we expanded the hours at Melba's during this little thing that came and upset all of our lives in a multitude of ways called COVID. And we went from being open from 5 to 11 to 11 to 11 because everybody's working from home, right?
Right.
People don't have time or not interested in cooking, whatever it may be. So we became that space. And also it allowed us to keep some of our people working if they wanted to. But also we fed over 200,000 people in the city.
Amazing.
So
frontline workers?
Frontline, mainly.
Mostly hospitals?
Mainly hospitals, yeah. Firemen, EMTs. Yeah.
Wow.
So that space will open at some point this year as well because the production kitchen will transfer to Newark.
So how much of your business now, like you want to say glass half empty, half full, right? What you learned from COVID, right? And has that like, did that really like explode the catering business? Some of the takeout, were you doing it before and now you just got forced to having to recreate yourself a little bit?
Oh, COVID, it was either sink or swim, right?
Yeah, especially in the city.
Totally. Probably one of the darkest times of my life. If I had to choose 2 or 3, definitely by far. We didn't see it coming. New York City is a city that never sleeps. So when they said New York was going to shut down, what do you mean?
It's like a joke, right?
Right. We're 365.
It's like almost impossible to
Right.
even conceptualize.
And the city did shut down. And I was the president of the Hospitality Alliance at the time. So we had thousands of businesses calling, what do we do? Is it going to happen? But we also had my team at Melba's going, how long is it going to last? And I had no answers. We didn't know. So COVID did force us, first of all, to look at life differently, to look at life and to understand that big, small, soul food, Italian food, we all really do need each other. And that we're all in this thing, this journey called life together. So that was the first thing that it taught me. But in terms of business, it taught me how to navigate, how to pivot even more. QR codes, I wasn't really using no QR codes. Zoom. I was like, where's the camera? Where's the camera? Is it turned on me? I mean, oh my God. How much can they see in the camera? And it taught me that you didn't have to go in the office every day. You can have a meeting, not face to face. But it also taught me how much I miss people. And I'm a people person. I love being with people. So when David Rockwell and I came up and presented this idea of Dine Out to Mayor de Blasio at the time, and he said, yes, let's do it. And he got the SLA to waive the fees for alcohol. We could have alcohol
Outdoor
dining.
seating.
Street dining.
Yep. And David was amazing. David Rockwell was amazing. He went and got people to donate chairs, tables, lights, heaters so that people can have outdoor seating for free for restaurants, over 300 restaurants that otherwise in all 5 boroughs that would not have been able to, first of all, keep your employees safe, staffed, able to support their families, and for guests to have a place to reconvene. We had so many people that would say, for the first time they would put the phones down. And that human contact at that time in our lives was so important. Even if we did have dividers up separating us, even if we did have masks on, just being able to hold someone's hand. We couldn't go to theater.
Right.
We couldn't play the basketball courts. The playgrounds were closed.
Yeah.
So the only thing we could do.
All the sporting events, everything.
Everything.
Madison Square Garden.
We couldn't even go get our hair done.
Some of the stuff you forget.
Like
Right.
hiring,
Just
I
what
remember
6 years ago.
hiring people to come and cut your hair and your living room.
Right. We couldn't get our hair done.
Like I remember, Long Island and New York it was almost night and day, the rules, right? And I remember there was a period of time where people would come in from the city to here on Long Island, and it was like almost, they were like, this is like normal time, but you'd literally go, 15 minutes the other way, and it was like complete shutdown still.
Because you guys have more space.
Right.
Yeah.
So the rules were a little different.
I didn't have trouble with the hair thing, though.
Yeah.
Beautiful ball head.
Yeah, right.
Michael, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Sticking to it, okay?
Just saying.
But yeah, we did have to pivot. We did have to navigate. It was definitely difficult, but we made it through.
How did technology, I know at that time it was, you had certain people that were already pretty in bed with POS systems and marketing and stuff, and then COVID was like, now you have to figure it out. How were you more of like old school going into COVID of how to?
I am so old school. I had the reservation book, that red book that you take reservations in, called the daily book, where you write them out. I was definitely
Open
old
Table.
school. I did have. I love Debbie. Debbie, I love you. Open Table. I love Open Table. Yeah, I had Open Table, but I wasn't in on the QR codes and stuff like that. So I had like 1 foot with 1 toe in the door, and the other 4 was with the other foot going, But it taught me to evolve and not to be afraid, because we had to. We didn't have a choice, right? Mm-hmm. QR codes were the way to go. So, I had to get a little savvy. I had to listen to the younger members of my team, and I had to step into the light. Step into the 21st century, even though I was very, very comfortable in the 20th century. And those are things that really strengthen the business, that help us speed up service, that we're really for the good of the business.
More efficient.
Totally, a lot more efficiency was had during those times.
Has some of those systems allowed you to scale over the past few years opening? Yeah.
They've definitely allowed me to scale, as well as I have an amazing team member, my COO, who, he would introduce things, and I was a little hesitant in the beginning, but Tim is very, very savvy, and he's very efficient, and, he's an operations guy.
Okay.
So with operations comes numbers, comes technology. So between those two, between COVID and the changes that I saw during that time and my COO, those are things that really helped us to be a lot more efficient.
20 years ago, did you foresee being where Melba's is today? Multi-unit or possibly more, or more than you thought?
20 years ago, I saw a 40-seat restaurant.
In Harlem.
And as we expand into now a food product line, we have signed a TV deal that comes out the beginning of next year, which I'm super excited about, with one of the tops in television alone, not so much the food space, but in television alone. Could not have dreamt this. But for me, it's never just about me. It's about we. It's about showing the people that come from the Harlems of the world, the people that think that they can't, that if I can, you can too. And if I can, so can you. See, I'm the girl that everybody said couldn't, wouldn't, and shouldn't. I'm the one that everybody counted out. So whenever I do podcasts or television shows, we get a bunch of people in our DMs saying, wow, you helped me to take a chance on myself, to bet on me. And that's what this is about. It's never about me. It's about how many lives can we change? How many people can we encourage to step out and say, you got this. Take a chance. Now, were there some things I failed at? For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. There were 2 major deals. One with Drew Neoparent and Robert De Niro that we worked on for 2.5 years. Didn't happen. We wanted to open up a restaurant in the theater district. Well, Drew and Bob wanted to open up in the theater district. Me and my big mouth said, no, there's a place called Minton's Playhouse in Harlem. It's the birthplace of the music known as bebop. is tour buses that come by and they take a picture of an empty space. What if that place were open? My idea was great. Timing was wrong. We're talking about the mid-90s. Harlem hadn't reached its peak at that point in time. And again, people were still very skeptical about coming up to Harlem. And definitely ahead of our time, worked on it for 2.5 years, could not get the investment that we needed at that time. Now Harlem is booming.
Yeah.
You know, it's hot. So I wouldn't look at it as a failure. I look at it as a stepping stone. It's all about our point of view.
Learning experience.
But for me, being on this platform, being here at Staying Hungry, is not just about talking about the great times and the successes. Because I wouldn't be telling it right. I wouldn't be telling the truth. You know, every day's not Sunday. I have kissed some frogs. But it's okay because we can look at them as failures or we can look at them as stepping stones. So it's always about our point of view. But to me, the failure, the true failure, would be not trying.
Yep.
Thank you for being so honest, because really that's what the basis of Staying Hungry is that we ask guests sometimes. So you already took one of our questions, but asking, like, do young people ever come to you and say, hey, I have this idea, and kind of seek advice? And I mean, you nailed it. Like, that's the reality, is that, I mean, if everything you did was perfect and this and that, then I don't think it would shape our lives without the failures to probably make us better, go forward in different ventures.
Yeah, and I think now, especially kids coming out of school, social media, all you see are like these success stories, right? Which
constantly.
Yeah, and most of it's made up or fake or, I'm going to say done for the camera, where we've spoken. We have a partner that has a son that just graduated, and he's like, thinking about this job. I'm thinking about this job. I'm like, you're 22 years old. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, what you're going to do in 20 years, you'll look back at this and go, like, the fact that you put an ounce of stress into where you're going to be, it doesn't matter. Like, just learn.
Yeah.
And I said, I usually say, like, find the most successful person and work for them for free, because you'll learn more from that person than anyone else. Like, don't chase the money.
Pretty good advice.
That's great advice. That's really, really good advice. But we also have to understand where our kids are living right now. They're living in a world of instant gratification.
Yeah.
And they don't know that
Too
90% of what they see on the phone isn't true.
They don't see the failures either.
Right. They don't. They see, and it's sad because they see a world of perfection that's not really perfect. They see a world of happiness that's not happy. Yeah. It's the perception of.
Yeah.
And it's really sad because they try to obtain that, and it's unobtainable because it's not true. For me, it wasn't about going from A to Z. It wasn't about getting to Z. It was going and exploring B, C, and D. So every Saturday, we used to have the insurance man that came by our house. My dad would pay the insurance. Every Saturday, we would have the Britannica Encyclopedia guy. Ooh. Because we couldn't afford the whole volume, right? I don't know if you guys remember Britannica Encyclopedia.
Oh, yeah.
So Britannica Encyclopedia, it had the gold pages, which to me meant there was value. There was richness in this. So the encyclopedia guy would come by. If we could afford, he would get something. So we would get B and C and D. The beauty for me wasn't getting Z. The beauty was all the things I learned on those pages before I got to Z. So the beauty is about the journey. Mm-hmm. It's about me being able to be partners with Artie Cutler and Godfrey Palestino to build what's now known as Virgil's, which was originally slated to be Melba's. Traveling around the country with them for 18 months, doing a barbecue safari. It was being there with Drew Nearpart and Robert De Niro and dining all around the city and learning about the industry in that way. It was working at Rosa Mexicano with Josefina Howard and learning how to make la coche and mole sauce and all of these things in the kitchen. That's the beauty of it. Opening up Melba's is just a part of the journey. But the beauty was in all of the wonderful and not so wonderful experiences along the way.
And Melba, you mentioned Rosa Mexicana, and we wanted to ask about that. Was that Windows of the World?
That was Rosa Mexicano, the Mexican restaurant. Windows of the World was with Michael LaMonica.
Oh, got it. And that was up
at the
until
World Trade Center.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Michael LaMonica, I got a call from him, who I love, Porterhouse Chef Michael LaMonica's amazing. From the 21 Club. I mean, it doesn't get too much better than that. But Michael called me and said, I started gospel open mic here in New York City. So Michael LaMonica called me. He goes, Melvis, every day at Windows is busy except for Sundays. Would you come up and do something? Sure, I'd love to. So I did the gospel open mic at Windows. They went from about 40 to 70 covers a Sunday to between 400 to 600 covers every Sunday.
Wow.
At $65 a pop, not including beverages. And it was a huge success. And September 9th, we performed there that Sunday.
Sunday, right?
Sunday before.
September 10th, sat down with David Emile and Michael LaMonica to renegotiate my contract.
Wow.
And then we know what happened September 11th.
Yeah. Wow.
But a major part of my journey and my story, and just like in life, every day is like a roller coaster, right? There are ups and downs. There are ups and downs, but that's the beauty. Those are the things that we learn.
Right. And that's that. Just going back to social media, like that's what life is, up and down. All we really see, or even for my own kids, like, don't believe everything that you see, because it's not. And don't quote me. My wife sent me something that somebody was talking just about life, and he goes, think about a house. The most important part of the house is the foundation, and it's below the ground and you don't even see it. And if you really put that in the scope of like social media and go, what's really holding this up? Is it ready to crumble? Or is there a real foundation? And those that are very comfortable with themselves aren't even showing really what's going on, because they're just kind of staying out of the
Sometimes
spotlight.
The people that post the most are the most unhappy.
And that's what it's alluding
because
to.
they need the gratification.
That
They live on likes, and
They do.
that's it.
They do. Or the founder of TikTok, he was asked, are your kids on TikTok?
No.
Not at all.
Doesn't allow them.
He doesn't allow it.
Wow.
So that says a lot. But it's about finding self-gratification and not caring about what other people think.
Being comfortable with yourself.
Being comfortable in your skin. Yeah. People would say, oh, you're from the ghetto. I'm from the Mecca of Black culture. I'm from Harlem. When people would say, oh, I live uptown. No, I live in Harlem. Upper West Side. No, it's Harlem. I mean, now it's cool to say that. Yeah. But when it wasn't cool to say that, I was saying, I live in Harlem. What some people see as a liability, I see as an asset. Those are my superpowers.
It's the way you see it.
Yeah. It's about your point of view. And that's in everything in life. It's about your point of view. Is it a potato or is it a potato?
Yeah, but we
thoughts.
see, like you brought it up earlier, it was just that, food is, I don't want to say a way out, right? From going from, whether it's being poor, whether it's an Italian immigrant or someone, from all different countries. And they're like, food is what got them to the success, right? You don't have to be Harvard educated to be working on Wall Street. Is that most of these guys and girls that are, very successful in the restaurant world, it started from humble beginnings.
So, oh my God, you're preaching to the choir over here. I mean, look at my food. My food was food that was considered garbage food. Yeah. Oxtail. That are now, by the way, $18.99 a pound.
Right.
Went from being $3.99. It was the tail of an ox being cut up. Exactly. Bone marrow. Come on now, my grandmother used to suck the marrow out of that bone. Now you're gonna go pay $80 for some bone marrow.
It's
Yeah.
a delicacy.
Pig's feet, chicken feet. It was the food that was fed to the slaves that no one wanted. It was collard greens were the bitterest greens. It wasn't kale or spinach. You know, you look at chicken feet, all of the pigtail, pig ears, pig nose. These were parts of the animal that was considered garbage, and it was considered food for the slaves so that they can then eat and go work back on the plantation. And now this food is food that's known as a delicacy. So it's always important to be comfortable in your skin and for you to tell your story and to allow the food to tell that story. Does that mean that all Black chefs have to cook soul food? Absolutely, positively not. As a matter of fact, I could throw down on some Italian food. That's what Bobby should have challenged me on. Come on now. Come on, B-Play. Let's do that throwdown. But seriously, food is a part of who I am. It's my currency. It's my love language. It's how I show my love for people, regardless of race, creed, color, ethnicity, sexuality. It is my currency.
Melba, do you consider yourself a celebrity?
I don't.
No?
I consider myself a hard-working dishwasher. Oftentimes people joke and they're like, oh, what do you want me to put you down as? Dishwasher. The dishwasher is the most important person in my restaurants because if you don't have clean dishes, we can't cook, we can't feed people, we can't plate. And that's the person, like you talked about earlier, your wife said about the foundation of the house. The dishwasher is the foundation of my business. It's the person that nobody sees.
Yeah.
And it's the person I'm always hugging and kissing.
Yeah, we had a poll on one of our guests, and he's like, he has the same concept. He goes, it's about the bathroom. How clean is your bathroom?
Come on, Breaker 19. And that's the first place I go. When I go in a restaurant, I go to my bathrooms, you know. But I'm only as good as my last meal. People ask me that question all the time. Celebrity, I'm like a horse with blinders. I'm not looking to the left. I'm not looking to the right. I'm not looking at what I've done. I'm looking at what I have left to do. I'm only as good as my last meal. There was a guest who wrote a review a few years ago, and she said, my husband and I go to Melba's at least once a week. It's our favorite restaurant. We've been going there for 11 years.
But
with 2 T's. Okay. She said, but yesterday we went in and da-da-dee and da-da-da and laundry list. Now, I'm sure, 100% sure that everything that was on our laundry list was right. I'm sure that we failed. My only question was, darn, you've been going for 11 years and you've never given us one review until 11 years later and something goes wrong. And she talked in that review about how it's their favorite restaurant, how they go every week. But the beauty of that for me, the lesson in that for me is that I don't have the option of getting it wrong. I'm only as good as my last meal.
Yep.
So that's why I am always staying hungry. Always.
Thanks for the plug.
Seriously, I don't have the, Red Lobster. The biscuits are dry. We going back next month. Melba's, because I'm tangible. I'm an individual. I'm relatable. I'm someone they can see, touch, feel, talk to.
Yeah.
It's different.
We've had this conversation
we have
before.
The same thing.
Really?
When
The big guys get outs, and us smaller ones,
we don't.
If we have one breakdown, we don't get second chances.
That's right.
Often.
We don't.
Which is unfair.
But when you know where the lines are, you color within the lines. And that's why I tell my team, we have First Fridays. We have meeting first Friday of every month. And I tell them that we don't have a chance to get it wrong. We've got to get it right every single time. I don't care that Prince Harry's been here. I don't care that Rihanna says we have the best mac and cheese. I don't care to Zendaya and Tom. No.
That was when they came last week.
Right.
Not today.
Not today. We have to be that Broadway show that every time someone comes out,
Best performance.
we've got to get it right. Yep, our best performance, yes.
It's no stand-in.
You're right.
And I was there. Food is fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for
You
having
got to
us.
come again
Yes,
with the
we will.
families.
We will.
You guys have got to both bring your families.
Can we talk about your son?
Of course you
How do you pronounce the name? Salif?
Sa, S-A. We'll
Sa.
just do Sa for
Sa.
short. He prefers Sa.
Is he in the business with you?
My son is not in the business. I call him my partner because I've been in this business since he was 4. So whether he wants to be or not, he is my partner. Oh my God, I was going through a divorce, had a young kid, starting my business, and working 2 jobs at the same time.
Wow.
Sounds like an entrepreneur.
Hey, there you go. There you go. So my son was pretty much born into the business. For a while, he wasn't too fond of it because I did an article and the journalist went over. She goes, take me through a day in the life of Melba. And I said, okay. So I wake up at 4 o'clock and going through my day. She goes, how many hours is that a week? I said, I don't know. She wrote it down. She goes, wow. I said, how many hours is it? She says, somewhere between 90 and 110. And I almost freaked out. It's no way to live. So no wonder my son wasn't fond of the business. It was taking too much of my time away from him. And so we missed a lot of family reunions. We missed a lot of birthday parties. We missed a lot of that. Now that he's older, he loves the restaurant. His friends love the restaurant. But more importantly, he understands the struggle that I made as a divorced single mom with a dream. And as he's gotten older, he understands too about dreams. And he understands as well about pushing through and persevering. And so I think there was definitely a blessing in the message, but sometimes we just have to find it. And he's definitely found it. He's into music.
Okay.
He loves engineering. He started investing in the stock market when he was 13. Totally not like me. And he went to China without me for 3 weeks at 13 with a financial literacy group called World of Money.
Wow.
But his passion is music. And he's been modeling a lot without an agent. He's done 3 Paris Fashion Weeks.
Wow.
But most importantly, he's happy.
Does he live in the city?
He does. He has his own apartment.
Okay. Did he go to college?
He did go to college. He went to college. He went to Oak Hill Academy. He's a baller. So he went to Oak Hill Academy. Then he went to IMG, did a post-year in IMG. And then he went to, he played ball in Hagerstown and in Santa Ana.
Very cool.
So,
Nice.
yeah.
I guess his
But I do
fallback-
want to say this.
Please.
This was my dream. And I remember when my grandfather had his business, people were like, oh, you got to go move down south to Hemingway, South Carolina. I'm like, with 3 stoplights? I don't think so.
And your grandfather was in the supermarket business?
Yeah, you did your...
That's good.
Pretty good, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
My grandfather had a general store and a gas station. You really did your homework, yeah. And so when my grandfather passed, everyone was looking at me to go and take over the business. And I'm like, first of all, definitely don't want to move to Hemingway, South Carolina, coming from New York. It's great to visit and be down there to see my family, but it's not where I wanted to live, number 1. But number 2, that was my grandfather's dream. And I had my own dreams.
And now your son will have his
He has
dreams,
his own
yeah.
dreams.
And if his fallback wants to be in the restaurant space,
It's here for him.
right.
But hopefully I plan to be out before that time happens. And I say that every year.
Is there anyone in the restaurant that maybe could be the next generation, if you will, if your son?
I would love for...
I mean, he could always be involved in the restaurant, but maybe not operating
I
it
would
day to day.
love... Honestly, I would love, when I'm ready to sell, if I could split it between my team members.
Awesome.
Because that's our extended family.
Do you think they could handle it?
I think with some guidance, some of them could. Not all of them now.
And we ask that question to everybody, and,
you
and
do?
we always get a mixed response. You know,
What do people say? I'm curious. Who?
some could handle it with a lot of guidance.
Yeah.
we get the same type of response, and sometimes it's personality too, that you can't exactly replicate
yourself.
Everything.
Yeah.
You know. It's
drive,
not a bad thing. It's
Yeah.
just different from
reality.
what guests have said to us. So
Yeah.
it's always interesting
It's hard
to
to
hear.
get anyone to care as much as you do. I mean, that's the hardest part. Even you see it, you know, you have 4 locations now. You can't be at 4 places at once.
Right.
You know, so like I remember seeing an interview of someone that a franchise person, and he goes, no place will ever run as well as the first. He goes, your hope is that it could be at somewhere between 90 and 99%, but it'll never be 100.
I totally agree with you on that. I mean, even the original is not 100, you know? And to your point, I worked in the industry for 11 years before I opened Melba's. I was not prepared for how difficult opening my own place was. So imagine people that are getting a paycheck.
Oh, no one ever sees that.
No.
I mean, you see
You
it
don't
with
see
employees now. They always like counting, you know, like, oh, they see the revenue. I'm like, yeah, you never see the expense though.
Oh my God, Vinny, that is so my line.
Yeah.
Don't count what's coming in unless you're counting what's going out. Right?
It's
and we know it's slim
perfectly
margins.
said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's slim margins.
You know, those snowstorms last month, like no one
You
thinks
never made
Yeah.
those days back.
Oh no.
Nobody.
no.
The industry didn't.
Well, it's like Tim says, if you burn the pine nuts, they're just gone. You can't make up for money that's lost in this industry. And to start off, our margins are so slim.
Razor thin.
You know?
Yeah. Food costs.
Thank
labor
God for
costs.
catering and labor costs, right? Thank God for catering, where the margins are considerably higher.
Better.
Yeah,
I was watching a
considerably.
podcast. Was it on Saturday? The guy Dave Grutman, who owns all the restaurants down in Miami and stuff. He said
know
he goes. I don't even know how a restaurateur, if they're not doing at least 15 to 20 million a year gross revenue, how they're even profitable. And he goes, anyone that's doing under that, he goes, I'm in awe that they're able to do it, because I just don't know how to do it.
Well, what Dave does well
I mean, he's built
is,
some
first of all,
brand.
the alcohol sales.
Yeah, well,
you know,
that's-
the bottle service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dave is great with bottle service. And also, he has great celebrity clientele and contacts. So he'll have, you know, he's good friends with Khaled, who I'm very, very good friends with as well. So Dave combines the two. And for him to even say that, right?
Yeah.
And he's at the top of the game. So for him to say that, imagine how
like
I feel.
for a
you know.
regular restaurateur that's, you know, just,
I mean-
you know, those razor thin margins. Yeah, if you're working with 20 million in revenue, it's, you know, it's a bigger number, even though it's a
Yeah.
razor thin. Like you said, the food cost is the food cost.
Yeah.
Burn the chicken, you got to make
Oh,
new
the
chicken.
chicken's gone. The chicken's burned. There's nothing I can do with that. I can't even smother the burned chicken. Right? It's just gone. But that brings me to another point, Michael and Vinny, is that anyone that gets into this industry, you don't get into this business for the money.
No.
You get into this business for the love
Yeah.
of people. And for me, my joy comes from seeing people happy and using food as a vehicle to do that. It's a conduit for me to show my love, but also to make people happy and to talk about community and culture and comfort.
And if you don't take that approach, it's a long road
It is.
that you're going to hate driving on. right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Can we talk about the cookbook?
Yes, we can.
What was that like, and how did that come about? Was it a desire for yourself, or were you approached?
It was
by-
not a desire for myself.
It must be a lot of work.
I'm always going to keep it real. Oh my God, the cookbook. So at one point, I have to tell you this, Michael, if you said to me, Melba, you have a choice. Finish the cookbook or here's a tweezer. Pluck every strand of hair
Yeah.
out of the right side of your head. You know what I would do, Michael?
Wow.
Look at Michael turning
I'm
red.
just, by the way, you put it, you'd pluck the hairs.
I would pluck the hair. It was so difficult for me. And it was difficult for me because, you know, like my grandmother, most of her recipes were written on a brown paper bag or in her head. Baby, you put a
sprinkle of
dash.
this.
Come on now.
I was gonna say.
Baby, you put a dash. Hey, Grandma, how much is a dash? Just a dash, baby. You know? Or you put some of this in here. And Mama said, so a lot of my recipes were that. And also a lot of my recipes for 20 were for 20 people, 40 people, 50 people. And at a cookbook, your recipes have to be for a family of 4 or 6. So it made it very, very difficult for me. And also going through some of the stories, you know, to be very blunt with you, I think this is probably the first time I've said this in 21 years, but a lot of my cousins didn't know that I wasn't blood related to them. So when I talk about my dad and my father, it was very emotional for me because how do I tell this in a book to my cousins for the first time?
Yeah, not do it because some people might take it the wrong way. And
yeah. And I wanted it to come from a place of love, but I also knew that if I was going to write this book, I had to be honest, which meant me being vulnerable, which growing up Black female in Harlem is not something you're always comfortable with doing and being. So that was it was very emotional for me. At times, I didn't want to finish it because I knew that was a part of my story. If I'm talking, it wasn't just a cookbook. It was filled with stories of my past, stories of what brought me to write certain recipes or to cook certain foods. So a little difficult, but I got through it.
Did you share with them in advance, or did the cookbook come out and then they found out?
What do you think?
the latter.
You really do know me, Vinny. Yeah, that's kind of what happened. That's kind of what happened. I mean, I was very uncomfortable writing about it, which meant I was more so uncomfortable talking about it. But my cousins love me just the same, as do I them. And there's a thing that happens in Black households sometimes, which is bad sometimes, and sometimes it's good. Not talking about certain things.
But it's like, I think it's the American family now. I mean, no one is, I don't want to say the traditional, like, one father, one mother, two kids, right?
Yeah.
It's stepfather, stepkids. And, I think it's more of the norm than what we think.
Yes, just for me, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know until I was 14. So that was interesting. I went in my mother's drawer to get a paper, and I'm like, oh, why does my birth certificate have a different name? So finding out that way was very traumatic for me. But it's the whole thing of not talking about it.
And your last name is your stepfather's last name, right?
Yeah.
Got it.
But it's the name I went through school and everything with.
Right.
Getting ready to go through the police academy with the name.
Did you know your birth father?
I knew him later in life.
Later in life.
Yeah.
Okay.
I knew him later in life. Yeah.
Melba, you have family in Harlem besides for your son being
my
in New York?
cousins, cousins from
Well, you have
Sylvia, some of them,
right.
some of them, at least 100, probably more.
Still mostly in South Carolina?
A lot of them are in South Carolina. A lot of them are spread out.
Yeah.
Jersey,
Should be out of
Westchester.
business if they all lived up here.
Oh my, yeah, that would
Melba's
be
cousin.
Cousin. That's the name of the next book. Cousin, hey cousin. Yeah.
Do you have a family get together?
We do. We have family reunions every 2 years.
Every 2 years, okay.
Which I love. So there's 3 different family reunions, right? There's my dad, there's my father, and then there's my mother's family reunions. Okay. I don't make them all, but I try to.
Yeah.
I just had one of my cousins who came up. She was supposed to go on a cruise to Cora. She's amazing on my mom's side. She was supposed to go on a cruise. She lives in Houston. Flew up, ate at Melba's on Sunday, and then she's supposed to leave on Monday to go on a cruise to the Bahamas. No, to Bermuda. She got an email Sunday evening that said, "We are rerouting the cruise. We will be leaving from St. Thomas." She goes, "Bermuda, St. Thomas, no problem." Still hot weather. She reads down further. Next paragraph. "Please make sure you have all of your documentation. Oh, and that you dress appropriately for the weather, as it'll be approximately 26 degrees Fahrenheit." She was like, St. John's, 26 degrees? Did I say St. John's before St. Thomas? I said St. John's, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Well, they were talking about St. John's, Canada.
Oh, boy.
So she was like, "Oh, cousin, I'm going to go back to Houston." I said, "Girl, you're in New York." She goes, "You're so busy. Just stay in New York." And so I planned a whole bunch of different activities for her. I mean, how can you be in New York and leave New York?
Yeah.
So even though she didn't make it to Bermuda, she really did have a great time in New York last week.
That's
so,
nice.
So I love spending time with my family. I do parties at my house sometimes. And Thanksgiving is always at my house. Like
every year.
Every single year. We have about 60, 70 something people.
Wow.
And it's a lot of fun. I love family. And I also love friends. My son is an only child, so I've always wanted another child. So a lot of his friends are my bonus.
Yeah.
Then you send them on their way, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. But sometimes they stay over, and I just love people.
Yeah. I read in the cookbook that you don't cook for the amount of people, you cook for who
just in case
may come.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Amazing.
Yeah. My grandmother did that. You know, she never cooked for the 9 kids and the husband she had. She cooked for just in case. Just in case Mr. Smith from down the street came over. Just in case the Paisley boys came over. Just in case.
Yeah, but I feel like that. I tell this story all the time. There was a brief period when I lived at my grandmother's house. I guess it was during college. And yeah, we'd come home at like 2 a.m. And I say it was like a scene out of like Goodfellas after they kill the guy and he's in the trunk and they all go inside and they like, she makes pasta for him.
4 a.m.
4 a.m.
Yeah.
And I go, that's what happens.
That's what happens.
Like you said earlier, that's what brings those memories back to say like, it doesn't matter what race or culture or ethnicity that you are, you have those stories that you share with everybody.
And that's how grandma shared her love.
Yeah.
For you and your friends through her food.
Like, whose grandma makes like pasta or meatballs at 3
Oh, I know. They would love coming over your house after the party. But that was her grandma's way of showing her
that
love
was it. But
for you, which is beautiful.
they always had it ready though.
See that?
Well, but when you have downtime, what do you like to do?
Ooh.
I would imagine you travel, and I saw
How'd
you one
you
night
know I
in
travel?
Mohegan, which my wife says hello.
We
and
had
she
so
thinks
much
it's
fun.
so cool
with Sherry
that
Shepherd.
you're
With
here
Sherry
today.
Shepherd.
Yeah,
I was
that's
with
right.
Sherry,
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But how do you decompress a little bit?
I love massages. Like, I have a couple of drugs of choice. One is massage. I got a massage yesterday. That's, because we hold a lot of tension and a lot of stress, especially being in the food and beverage industry, because our job is to make other people happy, to take care of them, to serve them, which I love doing. So I treat myself to massages. I also, I love to travel. I love to travel.
Out of the country?
Mainly out of the country, unfortunately. I need to spend more time in this country and explore and discover some wonderful places because I know there are. But I'm an Aruba girl.
Nice.
The weather's always perfect.
Yeah.
Direct flight, short flight. I love Johannesburg, South Africa, Cape Town, South Africa. Food's good. So yeah, I love to travel. And also I love getting lost in a good book.
Nice.
It goes back to my encyclopedia days, being able to escape. So I love escaping in a good book. And of course, dining out.
Yeah.
Dining out.
Is there a go-to cuisine for you, or mix it up a lot?
I do mix it up a lot. I love Thai food.
Okay.
I must have been Italian in another life. Don't tell anybody. And I love good food. I love Indian food. I love exploring. I love Vietnamese food, Japanese food, of course. So yeah, I love foods that are very flavorful. I'm flavor forward first. The 3 Fs.
Yeah.
FFF. Yeah.
Do you get to hang with some of your celebrity chef friends that own?
I do.
You get invited to openings, and I would imagine.
I was at Danielle last night.
Oh, wow.
Where Alan DeCoste was there, which was amazing. So that's where I was last night. I love Danielle. He's amazing. He's wonderful. Marcus Samuelson and I have been friends since we were in our early 20s.
Okay.
Marcus is probably a couple of years older than me. But when Marcus was at Aquavit, and he was just brought in because the chef had transitioned. He had passed. And Marcus was there because he had worked there before. And so they brought him in until they found a chef. And then I think it was at 23, he became the head chef over at Aquavit because as they were looking for a chef, Marcus was able to bring the food costs down considerably. And that's how he ended up being the chef at Aquavit. So we would meet every Saturday after he got off work. And we would both dream about how we were going to have our own businesses. And he went on to open quite a few restaurants. And one day I said to him, I think it was when he had Ringo, I said to him, he was living on 58th Street. And I said, Marcus, why don't you open up something in Harlem? He said, you think so? I said, I know so. Found the space and he opened up Red Rooster.
Oh, right.
And I'm so very proud of him. Kwame Owanachi is like my little brother.
That's the head chef there?
No, Kwame, who owns Tatiana's.
Oh, gotcha.
Kwame's one of the hottest things in the food and beverage industry right now. Tatiana's in Lincoln Center. He's getting ready to open up his third restaurant in the Fountain Blue in Vegas. So we hang out a lot together. Last week I was with Chef Eric Ajupan. So a lot of my friends are Fariel, who works at Haven Mar, Marcus's restaurant. A lot of my friends are chefs, and it's good to be able to shoot the breeze, to talk about the industry where it's at, where we perceive it going, and also how we can be helpful to one another.
Yeah, it's great.
Michael Lamonaco, another good friend of mine. Drew and I talk all the time.
Is Drew retired?
I don't think Drew's gonna ever retire.
I just watched I watched on the plane about
Nobu,
yeah.
Wasn't that
It was really
fabulous?
Good. It was good.
And that
The
was
whole
De Niro's.
documentary.
That was De Niro's idea.
Yeah.
I was there when the first Nobu opened. I was at the grand opening.
Yeah.
One of my best friends in the world is David Rockwell. My very, very best friends in the world. And David has built all the towels, all the lavas, all the Nobus. He does most of Danielle's restaurants. He's doing Simon Coates' new restaurant, which is set to be exciting. There's a whiskey floor. There's a martini floor, which is going to be fabulous. I think it's in the same building that the old Giraffe was in, but he did Polka Dot, David is, I met him through De Niro and Drew years ago, and he's remained one of my dearest friends in the industry, in and out of the industry.
And those documentaries are so good because, like we were talking before, you look at Nobu and the people involved in it and the chef and,
Richie Notar.
And you go to like their starts, their beginnings, and it was tough, failures and, but you look at it now and you go, oh, Nobu. I mean,
how could they have ever failed?
Yeah. And sometimes you go, they couldn't, they almost didn't even, get it off the ground.
Yeah.
And you look back and you go, like,
or look at Nobu
ground.
Before
that's what I'm saying.
Bob approached him about,
yeah,
right.
I mean, he had this little tiny,
can you believe it?
Little restaurant.
Yeah.
I mean, like it was really a sushi bar, essentially.
Yep, that's what it was.
And he moved all over, went back and forth. I mean, but that's people, today, like we were saying, the culture today is like, no, you just see the big lights, not humble beginnings.
Decades
not
of,
the journey.
Of work. Yeah.
Not the journey. And the journey is what makes the man.
Yeah. But how do you think, like, we spoke about it that you were on with Bobby Flay, like the whole concept of like the Food Network and just the immense popularity of the shows. And do you feel like that has like just exploded like your brand? And as it, did it, do you think do people still reference like that show is from what, 2008? I think that first one.
Yeah.
That it's, it's,
you guys are really good on this research thing.
Which is a long time now, which is crazy to think. But
and people still stop me about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think television is definitely a great vehicle. However, we know streaming is where we're going in terms of where we're about to go. That's the visionary. That's the vision. So, but I think Emeril Lagasse, Julia Childs, they set the stage, They set the stage for us to have the opportunities that we have in terms of television. That BAM, which
right.
Rochelle Brown was a big producer behind the scenes with Emeril, bringing that flavor. Julia Childs, just being being a woman in the forefront of television, on your television, in the food industry, standing there talking about her recipes and the way to cook. set the stage for Martha Stewart and so many others of us. You know, I look at my sister, Cartier Brown, the delicious Miss Brown, on the food work now, just opening doors. But it's also important for us to see people that look like us. It's important for us to see the younger people. It's important for us to see the older people. It's important for us to see these people because we know that if they can, we can too. And that's what it's about. Again, it's not about me or you. It's about how do we encourage people to take a chance on them? How do we encourage people to fulfill their wildest dreams? How do we encourage people to use food to cross bridges and to bring people together? To me, that's what it's about. Food is so much more than just a vehicle to put in our bodies. It's also a cultural way to talk about community and to tell our stories.
Melba, what would you want, someone to know about you that we didn't talk about today? Where you want to go over the next 10 years?
Over the next 10 years, I hope to be retired. But what I want people to know is that whether it's food or any other vehicle, take a chance, put you first, replace the F in fear for the F in faith. The only reason, or one of the main reasons that I've followed my dreams is because I don't believe in no. I believe that in order to have a testimony, there's got to be a test. I believe that before you can spell can't, you have to spell can. And I believe that it's not impossible, it's I'm possible. So it's always about that positive mental attitude. It's always about getting up when you fall, get back in the race, dust yourself up, and keep going. For me, it's like, I've got to get to the other side, whether I go over it, under, around it, or through it. I'm not going to give up. And if there's something that you feel passionate about, don't give up. Keep going. When you knock on a door, sooner or later, it's got to open.
I love it. Yeah. I don't know if I want to run through the wall or get back to work.
I want chicken and waffles. That's what
Baby, I got some in my purse right here just for you.
Yeah, but it's true. It's just, no one's ever, as long as you're willing to work, no one's going to outwork you.
That's right.
That's it. It's words to live by.
Totally.
Well, what else can I say? But thank you. This was inspiring, and really, hopefully, someone that listens to this is inspired, and maybe it's in the food space or not. But those were powerful words, and really heartfelt. So, thank you. Keep at it, because certainly so many people are seeing it, and definitely go check Melba's out at 4 locations and more to come. But I was at Harlem. You won't be disappointed. So, Melba, thank you so much.
We appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Melba, I'm sure along the way there's organizations that are close to you, either heartfelt or maybe in the Harlem area that you like to, give back to. Is anything that you could talk about?
Sure. Well, I sit on 4 boards. I sit on the board of God's Love We Deliver, which delivers medically tailored meals to New Yorkers all throughout the 5 boroughs. And that's really important because to me, food is not a luxury. It's a necessity. And New York City is the financial capital of the world. How do we have people eating out of garbage cans? That breaks my heart. So God's Love We Deliver, we've delivered over 40 million medically tailored meals.
Wow.
And they're all free of charge. And we run with over 23,000 volunteers. So I'm a huge fan, and you can find me there volunteering, but also sitting on the board, which I've sat on the board since.
Medically tailored, what does that mean? Is that like just people that are not able to leave their apartment, or are they designed for a diet because of the medical?
Designed based on your diet.
Okay.
If someone has diabetes, if they have high blood pressure, and they have to eat a certain diet, these meals are medically tailored to suit their needs. And also, we're the only organization where you get a birthday cake on your birthday with your name on it. So it is personalized.
Wow.
And it's the little things like that that really make someone's day. Like some of our clients, they don't know where their next meals are coming from. And God's love we deliver, we assure them that you will be fed. And they look forward to that person coming up to their door, saying hi. Some of our clients, is the only person that they see every week. So it's important for us to take care of New Yorkers. That's really big. I also sit on the board of Harlem Village Academy, which is a school up in Harlem that's done a tremendous job at taking some of New York's most at-risk students and propelling them literally to the top. We have a 100% graduation rate. It is by lottery. We have a 100% high school graduation rate.
Wow.
And a 100% college graduation rate.
That's great.
So I'm so blessed to sit on the board of that organization. Of course, I was the first female to be president of the New York City Hospitality Alliance. And I also sit on the board of New York City Tourism. I'm born and raised in this city, and anything that I can do to help move us
blood.
forward.
Yeah.
It is. I'm a New Yorker. I drink coffee in the morning.
Amazing. Well,
Is there a lot of, I know different charities probably approach you for different, whether it's as small as a gift card or catered events, you get involved in that arena as well?
I definitely do. Our advertising budget yearly at Melba's is donated back to New Yorkers. So every Friday, we feed 100 kids at a school in Harlem.
Lucky kids.
Well, what we do, we realize
the
that.
address?
We realize that with the food program in Harlem, that there are a lot of kids that only eat Monday through Friday.
Yeah, weekends, and summers.
Right, weekends they don't. So we rotate and we send 25 kids home with 4 meals every Friday, and we've been doing that for years. Wow. We do a lot of work with the Girl Scouts up in Harlem. Gift certificates. There's always gift certificates going out. There's free food. There was 400 bottles of water last week. I mean, that's what we do because we're here to make a difference.
Part of the community.
Part of the community. We donated during COVID. I think I bought 78 computers for kids that didn't have computers, special needs kids that didn't have computers.
Having to do at
during
school.
During COVID. So we do all different types of things like that.
That's great.
We don't always talk about it. We just do it.
Yeah, especially, during COVID, it's like you guys were the most
sought after,
stressed industry, but gave back the most too, which it was like almost like, a double whammy. You want to do that, but you guys were tapped as it was.
For COVID, you had people that worked in the industry that had to come and get food.
Yeah.
Because they no longer had their jobs and they couldn't feed themselves and their families. So you had people that worked in the industry, were always around food, at that point found themselves food insecure.
Crazy times.
Yeah.
This episode of Staying Hungry is brought to you by Vincent's Clam Bar, the maker of Vincent's Sauce, a Long Island institution for over 40 years.
Varieties include vodka sauce, tomato sauce in mild, medium, and hot, and marinara. These bold flavors can be purchased at the restaurant or at local retailers, including Walmart.
Restaurant quality, straight from the jar.